Alright, YouTubers, this is Dumpster Dave, Garage Time. Hey, we had fun taking this GM rotor. You think, hey, disc brakes, and your emergency brake is a drum inside of it. So you've got double the rust, double the pressure to get it out, rather than just a straight old hub. And if you knock on here, you're going to knock your lug nut bolts back out of the hub. So there are two small holes. And I'm pretty sure it's just like when I was working in golf carts. You take the clutches apart, you basically would run the screw all the way down and would kick it right out. For the shorter ones that I didn't have the exact piece, I would put like a thin piece of steel about the same size to extend past what I have, and I would extend it in further, and then it would push it down in and my clutch would come right out. So I'm pretty sure this is more or less was set up that same way. You can see the new threads here. Of course, the other YouTubes had me beating the back here, and there's only one spot to kick it. And I basically had already hit all around the hub. I smacked it here. The old hub I wasn't worried about. Smacked here because there was no squeakers on the second set of shoes. And this is what I found. I said, yeah, I could feel the record playing there. And I decided to check the other side, and I basically had less than this cardboard left before it was about to do the same thing on my driver's side. This is the passenger side, and here's where the emergency brake is. And I pulled the pin out to release the pressure, so now I have the fun part of trying to get it back in and try not to break this wonderful plastic that everybody decides to go buy. It's cost saving for the company, but these cars are what, pushing $100,000, and everything's fucking plastic. That's right. Do not pardon my French. I just said it. Fuck it. This is ridiculous. It's cost saving for the company. Got what? GM has, the neighbor has a brand new Cadillac, and it does not even come with a donut. You do not get a spare tire. Hello? How stupid is that? $80,000, you don't get a spare tire anymore? Well, yeah, they think less of it for a smaller car, and everything's like $40,000. So that's just a waste of time and money. I will gladly spend frustration and what? I think this is $100 between the new pads and brakes, because the other day I took the old pads off that were halfway decent and used the two best pads here on the old one to get me by to work today, because I spent, what, 15 minutes on hold for AutoZone because my Advance didn't have it in stock, and I hung up after 15 minutes because it was an 8-minute drive and I was 5 minutes of 9. So even if they had it, I wasn't going to make it. So I knew where one was on my way home from work, so I picked it up. And hence I've already wasted, what, an hour and a half trying to get this thing. And I banged the hell out of it. This is not my first drum job, but this GM, let me slide it off. This is what you got. You have drum brakes for your emergency and disc brakes for your outside rotor. I know it could be used adjustment because I think it was all the way up, but I'm not going to mess with it at this point. Simply due to the fact that this is old, and until I have new hardware, I'm going to mess with it. I could do that another time because now I know this hub is loose. And just as a precaution, I've already sanded down the surfaces. As in the good old days, they sprayed everything down for coating, because what, most of these are all made in China. So rather than have them in a rust bucket as soon as they pull them out, they went in coating them. But then you don't want that coating there when you put your brake pads on, because then all you're doing is basically burning plastic over the coating. So this is your tips for today. This is my father's 2003 GMC Envoy XL. Other than electrical gremlins, this has been the easiest, I should choke on those words, easiest GM that I've had to work on that my dad has had. I can remember the good old days when I did a racing against a Corvette, and we had a Pontiac Catalina with a 454, and apparently he only had like a 350, or did I have a 400? All I know is that I threw that thing down at 45 miles an hour, down to third gear in an automatic, and I raced that Corvette, and I got about 105, and the carburetor started whistling. At 110, I was passing that Corvette, so that's all I got to say. And when you're 16 or 17, you get a big kick out of that. I guess you can't do that so much anymore, especially since, what is it? Now you find out that DMV rules that if you're doing double the speed limit, it's an automatic suspension. So guys, take it to the track. Let's not do it on the roads. Oh yeah, this is also my dad's car, because the gentleman had a Acura TL and he plugged it 2 or 3 times on the front wheel. Safety hazard, if you have a plug in the front wheel, ideally it's best to have that plug to the back wheel, because if you lose your front wheel, you lose your steering. Your back wheels just kind of make a lot of noise. Same thing with a motorcycle. If you know you got a plug in that front, you can be driving it to get a new tire, or you're going to get the tires changed. You only have one wheel. At least here on the car you had two. The thing is, his tire blew on the passenger side. He went into the guardrail. Well, the guardrail decided to go ahead and eat that tire. So he had no tire. It was taken off the car. He then bounced off me once, twice, 3 times, and luckily he went to the shoulder of the road. I just thought it was some idiot trying to pass me, and I said, okay, I just held